Right now at noon, a big change coming to Arkansas SNAP benefits. We'll see how a new app can help shoppers know what they can and can't buy before checkout.
The U.S. Supreme Court strikes down President Trump's executive order attempting to end automatic birthright citizenship. I'm Natalie Brand with their decision and reaction.
Well, thank you for joining us for your 5 News at noon on this Tuesday. I'm Morgan Wrigley here with meteorologist Danny Cassidy.
Hello.
I think a lot of people are going to be looking to you this week because, I mean, we always are.
I'm not so sure about that.
It's an important week. We got a lot of celebrations coming up
True.
this weekend and throughout the whole week, really.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously, big America 250, but just in general, celebrating the 4th.
Yeah.
And what I do know for certain is going to be hot and humid, and really it's not going to change much for today through the end of the week. So really what we're seeing right now is going to be very similar to what we'll see later this week. It's just some minor tweaks with the clouds and the winds, but that's about it. Right now you're seeing a lot of sunshine across the region, upper 80s and low 90s for the actual temperatures. And there's a little bit of a haze in Poto and other parts of the region due to that Saharan dust, but thankfully it's staying elevated, so it shouldn't cause too much of an air quality concern at the surface. Dew points themselves, low to mid 70s. Yeah. Not very comfortable out there. Shocker, I know. But you can combine those temperatures near 90, dew points in the 70s, and you got your feels like a triplets there of 102 in the River Valley, mid 90s across much of the rest of the region, 98 there in Waldron. Some other spots, now again, Springdale usually runs a little bit high with the dew point. I don't think it's quite 102, but probably 97 there, and triple digits there in Spiro, Greenwood, and Charleston. So yes, it's very hot. I know it's not necessarily groundbreaking, but that's what it feels like. And it'll probably top out in the upper 90s and some low triple digits in northwest Arkansas, and staying pretty warm even through 7 o'clock, with that feels like of 94. For the River Valley, you can see we already have the triple digits. I think it'll peak about 105 to 106 and stay about 100 through even 7 o'clock. So moving forward, again, not necessarily anything breaking, but it's hot, it's humid, and mainly going to stay dry. But there are a few shower chances for the end of the week. We'll talk about that in the latest for 4th of July coming up in your full forecast. Morgan.
Thank you, Danny. Well, starting tomorrow, Arkansas's new law blocking certain foods from being bought with SNAP benefits is going into effect. As recipients navigate the changes, the governor announced the launch of a new app called Arkansas SNAP Companion. The app can scan products in stores and indicate whether they're covered by SNAP benefits. The ban means SNAP benefits in Arkansas can no longer be used for unhealthy purchases, things like candy or soda.
This is not about taking something away. The government is not dictating what you can and cannot buy with your own money. We're simply saying the taxpayer is not going to subsidize candy and soft drinks. Food stamps are supposed to be a nutrition program, not drive unhealthy habits and contribute to our nation's mountain of debt.
The restrictions also apply to fruit or vegetable juices with less than 50% real juice. Well, in a major ruling this morning, the Supreme Court shot down President Trump's executive order restricting birthright citizenship, which grants U.S. citizenship to any person born in the country, regardless of their parents' immigration status. Natalie Brand is at the White House with the details.
The U.S. Supreme Court struck down President Trump's executive order to deny automatic citizenship to children born in the U.S. whose parents are in the country temporarily or illegally.
It was expected from the oral arguments. It was expected from the nature of this case and just how long this has been an accepted part of our constitutional culture.
The justices pointed to the Constitution's 14th Amendment Citizenship Clause, which states all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. The Trump administration had argued the amendment adopted after the Civil War was intended to grant citizenship to freed slaves and their descendants, not to the some 250,000 babies born each year to people here illegally.
It's tremendously destructive. It's extremely costly. I don't know, it's up to them. But in terms of for the good of the country, it'd be great if they didn't allow it.
In a sign of how important the issue was to him, President Trump attended oral arguments for the case in April, the first sitting president to do so.
Despite the weight the president has placed on this issue and his public statements following oral arguments, he seemed prepared for the high court to rule against him.
This decision by the Supreme Court is a very big one. They'll probably rule against me because they seem to like doing that.
The United States is not the only nation with the concept of birthright citizenship, but is one of the few. Around 36 countries in the world grant birthright citizenship to almost everyone. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Well, a Fayetteville City Council member is proposing an ordinance banning the city from signing non-disclosure agreements with businesses. The ordinance wouldn't outright ban NDAs. Council could approve signing one during a public meeting. The city has already changed its policies over NDAs, requiring approval from the mayor and the city attorney. The soonest council can vote on this proposal is next Tuesday. Well, fireworks during a city event were seen shooting back at the crowd this past weekend. Police say no one was hurt, but families at the show took some video on their phones. A pyrotechnician reviewed videos and determined it was an accident due to a defective firework. The event was a fundraiser for the Dyer Fire Department, and the fireworks show was conducted by a master pyrotechnic. With the 4th of July just around the corner and celebrations coming up, local veterinarians are reminding you that not every member of the family is so excited about fireworks. Fayetteville Veterinary Care says the days leading up to the 4th can be some of the busiest for veterinarians and animal shelters. If you can, bring your pets inside before fireworks begin and create a quiet, comfortable space for them to relax.
I recommend not having dogs out at firework displays. Don't leave them in your yard. Dogs can scale fences that you wouldn't ordinarily think they would do when they get scared, and get pheromones or anti-anxiety medications from your veterinarian to help with keeping them calm and stress-free.
Veterinarians, also say make sure your pet is microchipped and wearing a collar. And here's a look at some of our city fireworks ordinances. In Bentonville, fireworks are allowed July 3rd and 4th. Rogers, they're allowed July 2nd through the 4th. Springdale permits use July 2nd and 4th from noon to 10. In most areas, they're limited to private property with permission. Fireworks are not permitted in the city of Fort Smith. Well, the Freedom 250 truck will be in Fort Smith after the Fort Smith Museum of History canceled its visit. Victory Church in Fort Smith signed on to bring it to town. Pastor Ryan Rose says his church is thrilled to host the truck.
We knew that the Freedom Truck needed a home for, this July event. And we just felt incredibly honored that they didn't just consider us, but that they chose us to be a suitable host for this event. And we consider it a great honor. And I think that there's many other places across Fort Smith, Van Buren, the River Valley, who would have been honored as well if they had had the opportunity. We're just thankful to be able to partner with them on this.
The truck will be in that church parking lot in Fort Smith from 10 to 6. That will be on July 10th through the 12th. Well, a powerful national celebration comes to life this Friday. America's 250, Red, White, and You takes a look at the people shaping America's story. You can catch the hour-long special event on Friday night at 7 on Channel 5 or streaming free on the 5 News app. Well, Bentonville continues to build on its reputation as a mountain biking destination with new trails and attractions still set to open this year. 5 News reporter Claire Everbach has more.
Last week, photojournalist Will Maxwell and I got to go on a biking tour in some of Bentonville's trails and experience them firsthand. The city currently has 24 connected trails and over 43 miles of biking infrastructure, but it is still expanding. This year, riders can look forward to the opening of 8th Street Gateway Park, which will feature 6 miles of beginner mountain bike trails. The Ozark Discovery Canopy at Crystal Bridges will also be bikeable. The city counted more than 1.8 million trail users in 2025. So far this year, it's already recorded more than 965,000. Visit Bentonville says more than 830,000 people ride the city's mountain bike trails each year. A Northwest Arkansas Council study also found cycling generated $159 million for the region's economy in 2022. 5 News got a first-hand look at how riders can travel between parks, museums, restaurants, and downtown using the trail system. City leaders say the goal isn't just to build more trails, it's to connect people to some of Bentonville's most popular destinations without ever needing to get in their car.
It connects things like Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art to the Walmart campus, over to the 8th Street Gateway Park, which is currently under construction. Also Best Friends Pet Resource Center, Kohler Mountain Bike Preserve, the downtown square. So lots of things where there's wonderful restaurants and shopping and cool museums, things to do.
The city says 8th Street Gateway Park and the Ozark Discovery Canopy at Crystal Bridges will both be open at some point in 2026. In Bentonville, covering news where you live, Claire Everbach, 5 News.